Hey everybody, Scott Weather here. So earlier today I was working on this steampunk thing. I didn't like what I did the other day, so I'm trying to figure that out. I don't know why the jazz isn't working, so I don't know what to tell you there. I think I hear it. Anyway, if it's too loud, let me know. If something's going on with it, I don't know. I like to have music in the background. I don't like dead air. So what I wanted to do today was work on that steampunk theme, and I had the idea of doing kind of a cat. So I want to do a cat, and I had played with this a bit earlier, but I want to kind of start over so you guys can see what I'm doing, and then you can offer me some feedback because you guys are really good at giving me hints on what's going on here. So I don't know how the video this morning is going over with the artists and kind of that reference sheet, but I really use that thing all the time. So I'm hoping you guys like it as much as I do. As I say, I use it all the damn time. So I was trying to give a a resource that I like. So if you didn't watch that, it's basically a link to my website and then, or to my blog, I should say. And then I've got these references here, and we're going to use this artist reference sheet here at the bottom. And again, the links are in the other video. I'm not going to link to it on every video, but it's on my blog. My plan is to keep that kind of up to date over time. So I was looking through here trying to figure out what I want to do, and I think I want to go with something more realistic. So down here we do have different games or different software resources, and I think I want to go like as much as I hate the Octane render kitschiness that everybody does it's good. Like it just looks good. So I think I might go with that, but I was just going to take a quick look through here. Actually, I'll show you my screen here. I'm on the wrong screen. Not you don't need the side of my head all day. You want to look at the screen. Let's do this one. There we go. Ding. And we'll put the camera over there. So what I want to do is I'm just looking through here trying to figure out what engine I want to use. And I think maybe let's use CryEngine. So this is different. This is the old, what was it? Crisis? Was that what it was called? I actually finished that game. It was very good. I really liked it. Yeah, the abilities of this thing at the time were pretty much causing most video cards to sweat quite a bit, but I was able to finish it. So what I want to do is I want to imagine a steampunk cat, right? Now, if you're entering this same competition that I know that today's daily theme, by the way, over at MidJourney is also steampunk, so we're just going to pretend we don't know that. We're not going to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. I'm just going to go ahead and create my own steampunk cat here. And I want to use the CryEngine. And what else do I want? I want just steampunk cat. Are there any other little details I want to give? I don't know yet. I think, again, I want the engine to kind of surprise me. So I'm not going into this with some sort of this is what I want and this is the only thing I'll accept. Let's just kind of see what it hands me and go from there. I know I do want it to be an aspect ratio of 2:3, meaning it's going to be a portrait. Portrait versus landscape. Let's just try it and see what happens. Now, as I said, I did this earlier. By the way, I've seen this a bunch today where this thing is spitting up blood constantly. And I don't really know why that is. You know what? I think I know what it is. Let's go into settings here and let's take the style back to medium and the base quality. Let's try this again. I think there's a problem with the engine today, and yep, there we go. So if you're trying to push something through a higher style today, it's stalling. I've just noticed that earlier. So if you have that set to high or very high, it may not work at all, as we just saw. By the way, I did get Stable Diffusion working locally, so I was able to get that going. Now I have a 3080 video card, an NVIDIA 3080. You need a hefty video card, and this thing is really getting the temperature up. It was set in 62, 64 Celsius, so it's pretty intense. But I was able to get it running locally, which is kind of cool. It's still the chromosomal grab bag that Stable Diffusion tends to look like, with all the random heads and extra faces and arms everywhere. But the fact I got Stable Diffusion working locally is kind of cool. And I turned off that stupid blurring thing because that was driving me a little nuts. Like, I get it. I know why they did it. And it's the same reason, by the way, that beta for MidJourney stopped so soon, is there are a few bad elements out there that were creating images they shouldn't have been creating. And that caused a lot of crisis amongst the whole team over there that has to kind of control all that, and they gave up, so they just turned off the beta. So when beta comes back, it'll probably have some sort of throttling to that. Wow. I'll say these are pretty good. I like this one a lot. I'm looking for, again, I have a head that I did earlier that I'm really happy with, so I'm kind of looking for the body right now. But we'll see how this goes. I like these, and if I like a couple, I tend to roll it again, just because if I'm getting a few that I like, let's explore it, just to kind of see what's going on. You've got it running on a 3070 quite well. Yeah, slow render options. Yeah, it does eat up RAM pretty fast, but the fact that it works locally is kind of cool. But again, I need that model. I mean, the MidJourney model to me right now is so much nicer. Like, I'm so much happier with the images I'm getting out of MidJourney by far. But I know Stable Diffusion is kind of a bolt-on to all these other solutions that I know, in its own, it doesn't have to stand still, but it'd be nice if it worked that way. Yeah, the prompts are different, but it also, it doesn't have the same level of refinement that MidJourney does. And I'm saying that because, I complain about MidJourney faces and extra arms and stuff, but wow, Stable Diffusion makes this thing look like it's perfect because it's pretty messed up. I'm still appreciative of the goal of that company, though, is to offer art to everybody in the world at next to no cost. I think that's fantastic. They're going to be looking at rolling it to India a lot earlier than they would other times. But yeah, the combination of the two is like really nice. Yeah, I love everything about this. There's just so much about MidJourney to love. I mean, they're both good. I can't tell if this is blurry. The thing is I have received images before that are blurry, and then I couldn't figure out if it was blurry or what it was doing. So I might upsize this one just to look at it to see if it's blurry. And again, let's roll it again, because I'm happy with these. I just kind of want to see what we're exploring. It almost looks like it has the word Cthulhu on his dog tag, which makes me want to give him Cthulhu dog tag. Oh, we should do a Steampunk Cthulhu. What am I thinking? My God. Steampunk Cthulhu for the win. No, it's probably not as cute. My wife is not going to appreciate this one as much. We'll put it that way. Steampunk Cthulhu. Let's stick with the CryEngine. Just because it's different and everyone is Octane rendering right now. It's probably going to be CryEngineering tomorrow. Let's do an aspect ratio of 2 to 3. Let's throw a quality at it and see if we can get a quality higher than 2. Is that the problem? No. So I guess it's that S. How nice does CryEngine affect it? Well, Far Cry, I don't know if Far Cry uses the CryEngine or not. It might. It just had a really great look. Like, I really liked Crysis when it came out. And then Crysis 2, I don't think I played. I bought it, but I played it for like a little bit, and then I just got kind of bored with it. I like a difficult game, and I think a lot of games right now are pretty easy. So when things like... sorry, I'm thinking about 8 things while I'm going right here. Huh. You know what? That's not bad. It's not great either. It's not bad, but it's not great. Let's roll it again. This one's okay. So some of the harder games that are coming out, I'm really appreciating. And I played all the Dark Souls and all those Sekiro and so on, and they're good. But and Elden Ring is nice, but I want a game that's like hard but not so closed in what you have to do with it. So I've been liking. Wish Valheim was a little bit harder, but I really like that game. But yeah. Anybody else here? I talked about this before. So when I'm retouching and when I'm working, I don't watch TV because I can't look at it and work. I mean, sometimes I listen to a movie, but it's usually a movie I've seen before. So I'm a big audiobook person. So I don't know if any of you guys are into audiobooks or not. So I've been listening to Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is a great, awesome story. Different. And a friend of mine, actually, she's one of the people who sponsors the channel. Chelsea made her husband a Dungeon Crawler Carl cake for his birthday, and I tweeted it, and she tweeted it, and I retweeted it. And the author of the book and the audio book narrator both retweeted her tweet, which is pretty cool. So I liked it. I've never been a Twitter fan, and I just didn't really do much with it, and now I really like it. It's kind of become a better Instagram, because Instagram is just basically a TikTok review. This is cool. I like this one. What does V3 do? That's an option for version 3, and because I was in settings, it kind of added that for me. But it's a default. I'm going to upsize this one. I really like it. And I'm going to roll. I should always roll versions before I upsize. If you're paying for these things, you need to do it in the right order. Anyway, we don't need this sheet here anymore. Anyway, so that's why I put this this art reference here. This is the style reference by artist, and then the teapot thing, which I think this is like one of the best ones out. That teapot thing is fantastic. I use the word fantastic a lot. I noticed that. I was like, man, you should guys make this a drinking game. Like every time he says fantastic, somebody's doing a shot. Okay, so when we get something here that we like, we're gonna roll it into Photoshop, and we're gonna start to bash some images together. So I got a couple other ones again that I worked on earlier today. Let me bring up Bridge. I use Bridge for pretty much everything. When you're dealing with a lot of images you have to view, this is by far and away one of the best ways to do it. We want Steampunk Cat. So I started off with this face. I did this face when beta was up, but I didn't get a high res of it, unfortunately. So the high res or the medium res looks good, but I can't use this. This is just not enough detail for me. And I don't know why it got squishificated there, but this is the head that I did earlier today, and I really like that. So I'm going to see if we can use this head, and I got this kind of like steampunk moth I did. So these are just some little things, what I got there. What are we talking about in there? Oh yeah, when you open settings, it populated it for me. But you don't really need it. You can clear it too. Where's my Discord? So to clear it, it's a suffix. So prefer suffix. If I hit enter, it'll clear it. And now if I do it, it won't have that --v3. That's pretty good. But here's our rerolls. Do we like any of these better? Oh, I kind of like this one a little bit better. I like this kind of blurry foreground element here. This one's actually pretty good too. I like the background of this one better. Well, let's roll them again, but let's upsize this one. So I'm just playing around with it. You're from Argentina? Well, hello, welcome to the show. You have a question. Looking forward to $30 sub in MidJourney. Is a private active? No, it's $20 more for private. And like me, if I'm talking to the bot, it's private enough. But if you plan to use these images, for example, in a corporate setting, the MidJourney people have said that if you use private, they'll make sure that your images maintain private to you. They won't put them in a room anywhere or do anything like that. Where if you don't pay that, they can end up in other locations, and they won't protect that. So it's $20 more for private. But the $30 subscription is pretty much mandatory. I mean, I can't see myself ever not having it. There's just so much I want to do, and I'd be freaked out if I'm like, oh, do I even want to upsize that? I'm worried about it. I mean, I don't want to not do something because I'm worried about spending a little bit of money like that. As I said, I've wasted $30 way worse than that in my lifetime. I think I like this one a lot. I like this collar. I don't know about the body so much. I do like some of these other, maybe this one has a better body on it. So let's upscale that one as well. And let's borrow some pieces here. All right, so what we're going to do as they start to render out here a bit, let's go to fast. And I have to scroll up. This whole Discord interface just drives me a little bit wacky, I've got to admit it. So we're going to do both the normal and the light. I like both of those. And we can put this back and relax. Yeah, so we've got a weekend out of town, so I don't know that I'm going to get any more videos done Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to try. but it depends on what my wife has planned. So we've got, gonna go with one of the daughters, and because we're an empty nest right now, which is nice. So they want to see us, so we're gonna go see them. Yeah, I think this is the best one. Should put it fast to upgrade it, and a light, and relax. It's like a yoga thing. Oh, here's our Steampunk Cthulhu. I forgot about that. Oh, yeah, that's not great. Not what I want. Yeah, that's not... this is probably the more interesting of them, but it's still not fantastic. Fantastic. Drink. Let's roll versions of that one. Versions are always faster to re-roll than running the whole thing from the beginning. So to look at a version is a lot less painful than other processes we've been doing here. So let's click this. Let's save these into this cat folder. Yeah, I do it the dumb way, but this way they all go into where I want them to go instead of having to find them and drag them around. This is just easier to do. Throws them all in the right folder. I don't remember which ones we need or not. I'm just going to borrow a bunch of these because it takes 2 seconds. This is the light upscale of this one. Yeah, I think this is going to be a really fun one. This is the light version of that one. It's okay if I grab the same one a couple times. That's all right. Yeah, so beta will be back as soon as they figure out how to stop people from making nasty images with it. I think that's really the problem. They've done everything from trying to keep certain words away, which I think we've all stepped on. A friend of mine's like, hey, can you make a Dick Tracy comment? And I'm like, well, or cartoon? I'm like, yeah, we could try it. And then I'm like, oh, we can't use that name, which is frustrating. But again, it's like 2 icky people in the world are wrecking it for everybody else. All right, do we have anybody else? We have this Cthulhu one running. Is there anything else that's running? Otherwise, I think let's go into Photoshop and start beating on this thing. We got 2 running. Oh, we got one more cat. And there he is. That was nice timing. Save him off. Okay. All right, let's go into Bridge here, and let's start. So let's figure out what our base cat is. So this is how I work. Oops. Is that Cthulhu? Is that Cthulhu knocking? It is. Yeah, I have no idea what this is, but it's not. This is actually the most interesting of them, but well, let's roll variations on that when we're doing this. So my method of working is this. I just simply start with Bridge. So I drag everything into one folder. So per project, they're all organized this way. And I'm going to start with the cat, and we can make them bigger. And this is included if you're a Photoshop person. This software is included for free. And it'll even read like Substance Designer files and things like that. So it's pretty cool. So which is our favorite body? We've got this one, and I think this one is the only 2 contenders that really kind of jump out to me as interesting. Yeah. So we kind of decided on 2 bodies right there. So let's just take one and drag it. Actually, we got 2 different bodies. We got 2 different collars here too. I think I like the outfit on this one a little bit better. It's more interesting. So let's start there. So we just kind of drag this into Photoshop. When you drag it into the layer panel, it'll open as a new document. So it's much easier to get around in. You can clean up the images that you don't like, by the way. If you get something you don't like in here, I'll show you how to do it. You just go and you give it the emoji of the X, and it will delete it. So that's how you can delete things in here. Okay, so I like this. Let's grab that, and let's grab the high-res version of it as well. That is... Which one? That is... This one. There we go. And again, I put it right on top. That way we can take and mask out anything out this one that we don't want. All right, I'm gonna grab my pen tablet. So I got a new pen tablet. I talked about this before. My Wacom, which is over here, which doesn't ever connect to anything. Unless I connect it with a cable, isn't ideal. So I'm gonna go to a different view here now. Up, down. So XP Pen sent me this new tablet to try, and I really like it. I haven't configured the buttons on the side because I'm so used to Wacom tablets fail at the buttons. I really like this. But I am using the Wacom pen holder, so Wacom is still present because this is nice. So I do use the pen holder. All right, so let's start here. We're just gonna start in the body and go from there. So I got my view okay. You guys can see what I'm doing. All right, so oh, is that Cthulhu knocking again? It is. It's not going. It's not getting better. Now he's got a top hat. Yeah, I think I need to start over with this, or at least give it more information, because this is kind of ridiculous. But yeah. Okay, so with our mask in place, we paint with white on that mask. We can reveal everything underneath it. So we can bring in details if we want them. So I think I do want details in here, for example, and I'm using a soft brush. So it's Alt right click to make it harder or softer, or Alt right click back and forth. On a Mac, it's the Command Option left click. It's a lot less obvious. So let's just kind of sketch in what parts of this thing we want. Again, this is non-destructive, so we can always switch between black and white by hitting X. So if we just say, well, what do we want here? Let's go with a little bit more detail here in the coat. I just like the shoulders on this a little bit better, I think. And then down here, what are these things? Is there anything in there? No. Here? No. I think I'm gonna leave these, whatever these kitten nipple covers are. We'll leave those in place. Maybe this button, maybe, yeah. But the one over here too, maybe. Nope. So let's go back to the soft version. So our mask looks like this. It's very professional. Yes. Good enough for me. All right, I want that. I want to find that other cat head. Bobby Townsend, you're here too. How's it going? It's alive. It's alive. Yeah, I was going to work on this, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do this with everybody here. I mean, why not, right? I'm going to keep these two. I want to keep these two on top of each other always. So I'm just going to click this link icon. So now when I move one, the other one will move. But I haven't decided how we want to do this yet. I'm going to do. We'll put them in a folder, and then we'll make that 50% so we can actually see what we're doing. I want to change the size of the head a bit, I think. Maybe. I do want it big. Like, I do want the head to be a featured part of this, because that's the coolest part of this whole image, right? Maybe something like that. So what we got to do is we got to get rid of the head in the other one, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new... hey, how's it going? Howdy, howdy. So I've called Stamp Visible, which is Control-Alt-Shift-E. It's the only command in Photoshop that doesn't have a shortcut anywhere in a menu. It's only a keyboard shortcut. And that lets us do stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to saw this cat's head off, right? Which is probably a bad way to put it, but that's what we have to do. What we're going to do is we're going to use the background to cut across like this, because if we do that, then we can use this thing, and we can use content aware. if we use content aware and it's touching this, it's really good chance it's just going to smear it. So by putting it like this, then we don't have to worry about it. Now we can pop this other cat in here. And we need to put a mask on this. And then we can draw in what we want. So we can always reposition this as we're going to, but this is just kind of getting the basics in here. So we just kind of say, where is this cat? Like, how big is it? This big. Something like that, maybe. And again, X will change from one to the other. So if I need to see the layer underneath. And we can always go back too, because this one, this is non-destructive. So if we decided we wanted to borrow like more of his collar here, we can do that by just masking again through this layer and bringing stuff back in. So we can bring it in a little bit if we need to. Just so it's all non-destructive. Pile this one on top. We can get it where we want it. I need more canvas. We're running out of canvas. So let's clear the aspect ratio of this one, pull it up. Like that. And we're going to check, actually, we need to unlock the background first. Then we can use content aware and pull this up. This is what you need for a project you've been working on today. Some cyberpunk raccoons, cyborg, and there you go. Glad I could be helpful. So let's just go here and we're going to borrow just I want to put it right on this layer. Current and below. Turn this. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to change this background anyway, but I do not want lines in it. I don't want anything weird going on. Just want it kind of roughed in. Like that. There we go. Something like this, I think. So you look too tall. Is his head too big? Is his head too small? I think his head's maybe this size is a little bit better. That cat is so DN. Really would like to see more D option in Photoshop. Maybe AI driven to convert 2D to 3D. Oh, D and D. Yeah. What's funny is there is a diffusion model coming to Photoshop. So latent diffusion will be coming to Photoshop. So we actually be able to do art in Photoshop as well. But that is not available yet. But when it is, I'll be all over it. That's for sure. Okay, so I need to cut this cat out. If we go and we look at that, that's what we're dealing with. Let's delete this layer mask and start from here. So we're just going to use the quick selection tool here. We have to be on the layer we want to select on, basically. Just get the big parts here. That's too big. That's pretty good. Let's do select. I'm going to hold down my shift key and we're going to use the legacy version of select and mask here because I can get more of a blur with that one, I think. The new one's picky. Something like this. It's super fast, doesn't it be perfect? Perfect. Ha! I made a dad joke. Let's just kind of get this roughed in here too. And then we can apply that mask to this group instead of to the rest of the image. So what do we think of that head size? Is that too small? I think it's too small. Something like that. Consider doing one of these in Affinity Designer. I wouldn't do it in Designer. I'd do it in Affinity Photo, which I have. Just don't. I don't prefer it only because their model for frequency separation is there's only one way, and I have several ways of doing frequency separation depending on the project. So I can't really switch. I use it from time to time, but it's just not, it's not what I need consistently. Right, I need this collar. I think I want part of this face in here, don't I? How much of this can we borrow without it looking weird? Like we're gonna have challenges with the whiskers, but I think I have an idea for that, so we'll be okay there. All right, so I'm not going to worry about that at the moment. Let's back up a bit and see how we're doing here. Okay, so yeah, I like the dramatic head. Whoops. And we're going to do, we're going to mess with this a bit anyway. We have to start using zip here because this is going to get big. The first thing we have to fix is there's a color difference here. So we got to fix that. And let's do that right now. So I want to look at this in black and white, and there's really, oops, that's not the way to do it. There's really only one way to do black and white. Let's just put this at the top. I don't know why it's fitting it in there. We need to do gray and change it to any one of these three. This is the only way to do black and white in Photoshop. Any other way, it doesn't really make a black and white. It makes an impressed upon black and white. So if I'm just looking at it in black and white, the head doesn't look like it's the same shade of darkness. So we need to go, this is the head. By the way, if any of you are channel members for the channel and you're in the professional level, this Photoshop document will be available for you as well. So everything will be in there. We're going to say this is... when you have the whole image without anything in it, it's called a plate. So this is going to be we'll call this the headless plate because that's what it is. And then this is the original image. So we'll just do layer, new, and then background from layer. That'll make it a background. So if we go up here, we manipulate this head here. We need to brighten it, but I think it's mostly along the lines that the black needs to be lifted. Is kind of what it looks like to me. Something like this. So it's got to look like, if this is a black and white picture, does it look correct? Like this, for example, is too bright, and this is too dark. We got to find the right level that kind of looks like it's convincing. And this is the gray area here. So our black was too black before, because the blackest black down here needs to match this blackest black. So something like that. So there are three things you have to correct. You have to correct luminosity, which is what this is right now. Do I find the gradient map for black and white? That works, but again, I'm just trying to look at I'm trying to evaluate the values. I don't want to manipulate it. I just want to evaluate the values. But gradient map will work, but again, this is just a quick and easy. This works all the time. Plus, we're going to use it in a couple ways. So this is the black and white evaluation, and I think this looks a lot better. So if we turn this off, this should look like this is before the curve. This is with the curve. So the luminosity has been fixed now. All right. Now we have to adjust the coloration or the chroma. So luminosity, chroma, and saturation. Those are your three things you got to fix. So luminosity is fixed. So let's fix the chroma now. And that's the bottom one here, this luminosity down here. It's not really luminosity, but this, using the same gray layer, we're now going to evaluate the chroma or the color. Red, green, blue, whatever. And we're going to put a curve on this because I can't really see what the hell I'm doing. And we're just going to yank it into the middle here a lot. And I'm trying to see if I can get value differences to show, or chroma differences to show here. Yep, and we're doing pretty well. All right, so it looks really obnoxious. But if you notice, this is more blue than this is by a a slight amount. So we need to fix that. So we fix that with the color balance is how I do this. And again, we clip it because we're only working with the head. So for adjusting the head, for example, now we just got to make it look like it belongs with what's below. And I try and wiggle each slider and see what it does. Just kind of go around and go back and forth until you're happy with it. And then we go to, well, I usually start in the shadows. I started the wrong one there. And I'm a big fan of you move it a lot and then you come back and make it smaller and smaller movements. Don't move it just a little bit and think it's done. Let me do highlights last. Again, we're trying to match these highlights to these highlights here. Something like this. The jazz is failing today. It's like really soft. All right, so if we turn all that off, now this should look like it's the right coloration. So this is before and this is after. So it's subtle, but it worked. And then the last thing we need to do is we need to adjust saturation. I usually do that by eye, but you can use the same tools, but I think it's easier to do. So I would do a saturation down here. Oh, did I just get rid of it? I did. These need to be up here, by the way. So they need to apply to the entire head layer. Let's try that again. I missed with my finger because I wasn't looking. There we go. So this is applying to just the head layer here. And then these can go away. And then we need to do one more for saturation. So saturation, again, with just the head, this is it too much color, not enough color? So we're going for something that looks, that just matches what's below. So I think something like this. So these three things here adjust. Actually, we can't put them in a group because we need them to apply here. But they're applying to just the head. So all three of these settings. So we adjusted the luminosity, we adjusted the chroma, and then we adjusted the saturation until it matches. So now that looks pretty good. Now we can go back and we can kind of finesse in anything we need to. I'm just going to go ahead and again, stamp visible. Ooh, I'd be at the top and stamp visible everything. So this is our new master. So it's a stamp visible. And now we can get weird with it. I'm going to hit save because this is, if you're going to make it, made you fall asleep in the last live feed. Me too. I got all nappy. What we're going to do is we're going to go into Liquify and make sure we like the shape of everything before we get going on this. Because once we start retouching all this, I don't want to have to then liquefy it, especially if I have background textures on this. So then it becomes work. It's like I want this to be a circle. I don't want it to be whatever lopsided. I mean, it's okay that it's lopsided there, but I want this to look a little more circular. It's a minor detail, so we can get away with a lot of murder here. A lot of murder. We talk about getting away with murder a lot on this show. Oh, that is laggy. So that's round now. This little rounder here. I'm okay with that. That's looking kind of interesting. Any of these other little baubles need to be roundified. Maybe a little bit. And we're viewing some of these in an angle, so we don't have to make them all round, but I do want, if they look like they should be round, I should make them round. More tutorials on matching the textures and colors of AI render own human subject photos would be awesome. Yeah, I did that. I did that a couple days ago, actually. I do that often because I'm a photographer. I'm a full-time photographer. That's my full-time job. So I have a lot of pictures of people. And now that this is a lot easier to get backgrounds and things like this, you bet that I'm going to be doing a lot more of that. But I will tell you that most of the time, those, like if you're watching this stream live right now, that's pretty awesome. But what will happen is I will eventually move this into the member only area because that's one of the benefits I want members to have, is that you're helping keep the channel alive. So right now there's a ton of retouching images in there because I've been doing this for a couple of years now. But it's a lot of boudoir, for example. So if you want to learn like skin retouching, there's a whole bunch of that in there. But learning to composite with these images is going to be something we're going to be doing a lot more. But again, for a couple days, I'll leave this video up, but then it'll eventually work its way into the member-only area. So you guys have a nice library of stuff for helping keep the channel alive. So just kind of fixing these so they're round. The glasses look pretty great. I don't think there's any adjustments there we need to make. Here we go. So that's what we fixed. Just little stuff. Reminds you of Aaron Nace. Yeah, Aaron and I actually spoke at the same conference a couple of years ago, and I haven't seen him since. Okay, so this stamp visible areas that we didn't modify, we can still play with. Because if we put a mask on it, we can still use the layers underneath. But they're going to look the same for the most part right now, unless it's something we modified like these things here. But we'll put that layer in there. It's very reassuring to see things you do that are just a trial and error. Oh yeah, I mean, that's the fun part about it. I'm trying to make a happy accident happen is the way I say it. I just want to see if there's something I can make that's different. Okay, I don't need everything in this layer, by the way. So if we go and we click on difference, you can see what it is we changed with this layer. So if I want to, I can take just this part here, which is all where our changes are, and put that on its own layer and get rid of the top part of this. That means that I can still use all these other parts down here, like swapping the head out, but now these will all stay circles. So these will be uniform corrections. You know, a lot of Photoshop and a chance to apply, so you have to brush up constantly. Nice to focusing on compositing. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I do this for relaxation. This is like something I do for fun. Okay, so let's start fixing this overall image. First of all, let's decide what we're going to keep with the head, because we have two heads here. We have the soft head and we have the harder one. So I want to keep this one on top. This is the detail version. And oops. My God, Becky. It's the detailed version, and this is the low res upscale. Again, this is why I like to keep both of them. And because these color changes here are against this group, we don't have to do the color correction against both of these again. We can do whatever we want. I actually don't mind the centerpiece being a little wonky like that. But yeah, you could. I mean, if it's your art, you go for it. I kind of like it that it's wonky. This whole thing looks a little wonky. So I want to do is I don't want the whole thing to be detailed like this, I don't think. So I want to do is put a mask on it, a black mask, and then I go back with a white brush and figure out what we do want to see in high detail. So obviously the goggles, we got to have that. All that in here has to be high detail. And then maybe whatever's going on around the edge of the ear here, maybe that's the only part of this that we want to keep. Again, big soft brush, we can kind of blur into where we have detail and where we don't want to have it. As long as it doesn't look obvious, like right in through here, it's looking kind of obvious. What about in here? What's going on in here? So I'm just gonna kind of reveal it to see if I like it, and I actually do. I like whatever this thing is. The nose works. Cat face. And this looks really dark to me. So we might go back and reevaluate that. Reevaluate the face there. We need to keep that body. Should live down here probably. I think we need to look at this curve again. And I might just apply it just to the detailed one, because we know the other one is good. So I think there's a chromatic difference between the high detailed and the non-high detailed. Something like that, I think. Get rid of this. And there's some areas where we just don't have detail. It's like the black is crushed. So we'll keep some of the bottom and yeah, something like that. Kind of a little bit of both. The low res here looks a lot better for the whiskers than the high res does. So I'm just kind of looking at both. See which one I like better. What about this buckle thing here? That's from the image underneath, isn't it? No, it's not. It's from this image. Kind of makes it look like it's almost part of his face there, doesn't it? Let's go back and look at the original image here. And then the original head. Let me bring up that head again. Yeah, so it's kind of a truncated thing here. So we'll just have to deal with what that looks like. I'm okay with it. It doesn't bother me. This yellow spot over here bothers me more than anything else. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, so let's flatten it again, and now let's work on fixing some of the stuff that's a little goofy, like this. We have a weird bleed over here, so I'm going to grab this clone stamp and set to current layer, and we're just going to kind of work away against this. I don't want that distracting color, whatever that is over there. I might actually mirror the face here at some point too. If we get one side, like this side looks a little bit better, I might actually mirror that over. So to do that, let's draw some whiskers here. So and I have a brush here somewhere. These Deharme brushes. Another artist that I have admired the work of. Yeah, I've been following him for years, actually. I think he does some stuff for Magic now as well. I'm not really sure. I know he has there's a hair brush in here somewhere. It's just going to draw little tiny hairs. It's just a little. I've used it before. Here's a fur thin brush. What's that going to do? That does an unintentional thing, but let's try it. So if we do, we need to bring up our brush palette. We need some rotation with this. So we grab this here, get tiny, bring that in, and then we can blur this a bit. Can bake that in there a bit. Maybe do it again a little smaller. Different color. Yeah, this brighter, this lighter color here. And the same blur. Same blur as last time. Probably. So it looks more legit. And then we need hairs. I'm turning it because my wrist isn't going to do this motion. I need to have a better motion to things. So I'll just do another layer. You can just use all the layers you want to. That doesn't matter. You just want to make sure that you can undo whatever horrible thing you've done. And by keeping them on different layers, then it's a lot easier. Is there a hair in here? I swear he had one. If not, we'll just use a regular brush. It's not a big deal. Because the hairbrush is just going to be a light line more than anything else. Just There's so many different brushes in here that I never use. It's like I find 2 or 3 that I really like. Hold on R and you rotate, and then you can rotate the whole image. So I'm just looking for a fur. There's a fur sample brush. What's this one doing? That's not horrific. Like we wanted to make lighter lines here. So let's try this. Let's do I want to sample a pretty, but I just sample from the eye here. So we can do something like that. Let's do, what's this? Is this one we already used? What's this one? No, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm just going to use a regular old brush because I can't find the one that I'm looking for. I know I've used it before. It's not, there's nothing fantastic. It's just a round brush. Let's just go get it. Let's just make it. So we're going to use a round brush. It's kind of hard, tiny. Like that, like 3 pixels. Oh, even thinner than that. Even thinner than that. There we go. And then we're going to just sample in here, and we can pull a hair. This to go to our eyedropper, we can pick that we want this to be a point sample. So when we're on the brush, we get a point instead of individually sampling the whole world around it, or that's what the problem is. There we go, it's a little better. So we're just going to make some whiskers, and what we're doing is we're trying to convince everybody that these are going into the image, that they're crossing that border. Right, so we just want a couple here, and then we're going to do some darker ones here. Maybe not that dark. Like this. It doesn't look real yet. It's okay. Just give me a minute. And then, since these are on our own layer, we can go back and we can filter, blur, Gaussian blur them again, and then bring them into a believable space. Like maybe a 1, maybe a 0.6. Maybe a 1 was fine. And then we can use an eraser, actually, which I never use, and just kind of erase the ends of them a bit. So they feel like they taper off a little better than they do. Yeah, there we go. Let's do it again. Another layer. Since that was successful, we'll just keep going and do a couple more here. So. That same filter, same blur, same eraser trick. So just erase just the tips of them here, so they don't look sharp. They look sharp, I mean. That looks pretty good. And then we can take all that and we can actually merge all that down. That looks pretty good. Actually, before we merge it down, let's take these and merge them together, and then we're going to duplicate this and mirror it to the other side. Fix that cheek, that all helps, but it doesn't look exactly the same, which is nice. Helps with the illusion that it's not mirrored. Yeah, you just hold down R and you can rotate the canvas and hit escape to bring it back. It's a lot easier than trying to rotate everything else in your life. That looks pretty good. All right, so I got this bug that I liked. Where is it? I like this bug. I just want to see if I can use that real quick. So let's do select subject on the bug. I don't know how well it's going to work. It looks like it worked okay. And again, we'll do select a mask on it real quick and see if it's if there's anything else we need in here. So I'm just doing a quick go around the wings here. Make sure we get all our details. Also, I'm going to I'll be in Chattanooga in a couple weeks. I'll be in Portland in a couple weeks. I will be in, where's my going? Orlando for Florida School of Photography. So if you guys are into photography at all, I'm speaking at all those conventions. So if you want to have a beer, that's where I will be. Travel time is really April is when I start traveling a ton. Since COVID, all my travel perks went away, and I finally got my platinum back, which took for freaking ever. All right, so I want this one to be on the top, and I was thinking that I just put it somewhere and do something different with it. I think it's the Mothman thing, though. Do I like this thing anymore? I was thinking I'd put it here. Something like that. Now I gotta fix the color of it as well, because it's the wrong color. So we'd go through the exact same process we did before, because it's just the same thing every time. If that looks fine, and then we need to change the luminosity of it, which we could do actually by eye as well. We just throw color balance on it. Oops. Never a hue and saturation. That's the wrong tool. Color balance. Clip it, and then just match it. Don't be too close in the highlights. Good enough. All right, now we do need a shadow under this. Portland, I don't know where I'm speaking in Portland. It's wherever they're having their state convention. Or it might be an individual speaking thing. I'm not really sure. The dates, let me look quick. Here, I'll bring that up while I'm... Give me 2 seconds here. Portland is... what is Portland? Portland is, that's the 29th of October, it looks like. Yeah. Somewhere in there. Yeah, I like this. It needs a shadow, though, in order to pin it down. So we'll create another layer underneath it here in order to be, this is the bug shadow. What's this again? Oh, these are the hairs. Whiskers, these are more whiskers. Actually, these whiskers here could all be merged together. And then what we need to do is we'll put a shadow under our bug here. And again, we use colors that are in the scene. So I'm just going to draw like a quick icky one like this, just to have something. And then I change it probably to multiply. And then I can go back with a mask on that and get rid of it. So we can have it look real. Something that just looks nice. You got to anchor the subject down a bit. Plus the shadow wouldn't be, like some people use a drop shadow on that, but the drop shadow doesn't necessarily respect the topology of whatever this is sitting on. Like for instance, these are probably raised, so the shadow wouldn't be as obvious here, but it would be deeper next to those things here. And it would be deeper in here. And probably this thing, or this antenna is here. I'll do this a really light line like this. And I'll go in and remove it with, again, a mask. I like this quite a bit, actually. Yeah, you're right. I really like this tablet. I thought the Wacom's supposed to be like the king in the hill, and it was for so long. But I think they've kind of lost their ways now, because this is a big step up. And I'm surprised at that. I'm not sure what's going on here. I think this is just what it is. I might try and correct that here by giving a little bit more of a downward pull here. Just a little bit. Something like that. I think that it's nicer in some ways, though, because the Wacom was starting to frustrate me with the fact that it would rarely connect, or I'd have to stop and start the Wacom service, which drove me absolutely batty. Okay, now do we want to texture over the top of this thing? Because we're almost done with it. We got to color grade it, throw a texture over and color grade it. But can we do anything to make it better? Oh yeah, if you're a YouTube member, by the way, thank you to all my patrons. You guys are awesome. I have a slide that I made, but it's not. So that was a good idea. Where's my webcam? There it is. I don't know where my slide went, but everybody, you could see the green names in the channel. Those are the people who are paying to keep this channel alive. So you guys are awesome. But you will all have an access to his textures directory. And these are all textures I have made. I've painted a lot of these by hand. So these are pre-MidJourney. A lot of these are pre-MidJourney. Like there's a textured version and a non-textured version of all these. So we can use this one. You know, actually, the one I'm looking for is, where is it? This one, this IO one. I love this texture. This is one I made a long time ago, and I use it so often. So I'm put it all the way at the top, and I'm gonna rotate it. No, I'm gonna keep it this way, and we're just gonna stretch it this way with snapping enabled. This, and we never did take a subject here, so let's do select subject of the whole cat. And again, we'll do a quick mask of this, so we get all the depth of field is all good. Because this is the hardest part about the selection process. Everyone gets all caught up in this. You don't need to be super accurate with your selections. I think that's a misnomer. People don't get how forgiving it is because you didn't see it applied, you know? So I was thinking that I would go with something like this. But I kind of like this this darkness, but I think we're going to go with something like in here. Is overlay. This hard light's nice, actually. And then we need to drop this saturation on this one a bit. It's just too much. Something like that. And I'm going to fix... I don't think this mask is right in here. I'm just going to darken this all. So it kind of helps the shoulders fall off the image there. You know, it gives a little bit more depth to it. The rest of this should be... Oops. The rest of this should be good. Yeah. Okay. And let's see. Oh, thank you. Yeah, textures are awesome. You guys play with them. They're yours to... You just don't sell them. That's the only thing you can't do. But why did Wacom lose their edge? I think Wacom kind of got, I'm going to say, passive about trying to keep everybody interested. Other people just came up with better things. I like this one too. Let's throw this one over here. Like having this, it's just a USB remote, you know, like you get a wireless mouse or something like that. That's all it is doing, this new tablet. But that's all I needed to do. You know, the Bluetooth thing is great, but Bluetooth is also one of those little things that you get frustrated with your headphones, or you're going to get just as frustrated with this type of technology if it's not working right, which is what's going on. And just trying this. No, I don't like any of that. All right, let's do one more. I'm thinking about dust over the whole thing. So let's do here. Textures. Oops, I'm in the wrong place. I'm like, where the hell are my dust? I want to go dust, dust, and particles. Maybe something like this. Just looking at these here. Again, it's adding a little bit of the something that maybe it doesn't have normally. Welcome's too expensive. Yeah, it is expensive. It's not a lie. But I'm okay spending money on something if it improves my productivity, and I am about 400% faster as an editor when I use the pen. But notice I'm not using the pen right now because I don't have to do fiddly detail stuff. And I think that's where everyone else loses their edge, is because they're trying to use the pen when you're not really supposed to be using the pen, right? By the way, if you stuck with me so far today, thank you for that. And bang on the like button if you are liking it, right? That's what it's there for. It's clapping, because I can't hear you bang your appendages together. So this is your way of showing appreciation. I don't like that texture. Let's go with, I want one with a little more oomph. Let's do this one. Set this to screen. Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. And then we're going to, I think we're gonna rasterize this one, and I don't want to. Here's my problem. If I poke a hole through this now with the mask, we'll see how different it looks. It should, yeah, it looks substantially different. So we're gonna do a really weird trick. A Scottism. We're going to take this and we're going to actually let's go back to a smart object here, and let's blur it average this way, and then we can draw on it this way here. This is one of my goofy things I've come up with. So we can remove these where we want them, but we don't mess up the rest of the image. Something like that. No, I'm making it because I don't watch TV. It's just me a chance to learn a new skill and to kind of work with things. Oh, the blog is just it's lightshooteedit.com. And it used to be a big photo blog, and I kind of just stopped updating it. And now it's got just links to all the stuff I'm working on all the time. So yeah. All right, and now let's color grade this thing now. So to color grade, I'm gonna use a color lookup, and we're just gonna kind of use this as a point of departure and see what we like. I'm just doing this for artistic happy accidents. Okay, it doesn't mean that we're gonna keep any of them. It's just kind of looking through here to see if there's something that inspires me. Okay, I like that one quite a bit. I like that one better. But that's very similar to what we started with. So Drop Blues, I think, is my favorite one, which is, again, so similar, but it adds a little bit of a something going on there. And let's throw a curve on this as well, but let's do a different type of curve. Let's do, let's just compare them real quick and see. I think I like that curve. This entire thing also needs a bit of a blur, in my opinion. Let's go here and blur it. What we're going to do is we're going to create a duplicate. Missed the answer. Where's the members area? Oh, it's on YouTube. Oh, for the stuff that you get, you have to send me an email because I have no way to reach out to you and get your email address. So there's actually a post in the community area that says, if you're a member, please send me your email. Yeah, it's really goofy. In fact, I've had members leave because they're like, I don't know how to get my perks. I'm like, well, I have no way to talk to you. So yeah, send me an email and I will get you a link to the Dropbox with all the stuff in it that you get for helping me keep the channel alive. So again, you're awesome. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so I'm doing now is I'm using a blur tool. I'm just going over and knocking some of this down a bit because it just seems a bit too punchy or extra sharp, and it doesn't need to be. Like, it should fit, the image should all fit together. It shouldn't feel extra crispy, you know? And some of this, as it comes around the corner here, should fall off focus-wise. We just have to be consistent. Like the nose, this is the most in focus thing here. So just giving this a bit of a knockback is really going to help it believability-wise. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Hey, that's not what I did. I'm going to hit this again. There we go. So it's only applying it 20% of the time, so as I go over and over and over again, it helps build it up to the point where it looks better. And that's pretty good. Maybe this ear's a little bit too sharp. He's going to need a name, you know, right? We're going to have to name him. So start thinking of a name. He's going to need one. Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys coming in. So I was just going to do this myself. And I was like, you know what, I'll just do it on YouTube. Because I'm not going to be around this weekend. And at least I don't think I'm going to be around this weekend. So I wanted to give you guys something to ponder while I am gone. So you can have something to work on. I think this worked out pretty well. I kind of want to play... I'm just, again, because I can't leave well enough alone and you never know. Let's drag a light hit into this as well. Just to see if that's interesting. Sometimes I like them, and sometimes they're overkill. But let's just try one and see how it goes, right? I put one of these the other day in that image I did, that steampunk, or not steampunk, that kind of other image we did. In fact, it was the same one. That's funny. Do I keep that? Is that too much? Is that too much? How we turned down to like 40%. So that's before, and that's with maybe it's a little brighter than that. Hey, one eye's on, one eye's not. Yeah. I think I like that. That's funny. All right, we'll knock this back to. We'll flatten these and oops. Flatten these and put them in color dodge. Color dodge. There you go. Because you never know, right? You just got to try. This is blur. Yeah, totally fits them down. You know, yeah, I agree. It kind of all works. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I like the loop on this side too. That's not over here. It kind of looks like make him look a little extra cray because he is cray, right? Whiskers look good. Like that all transferred nicely. This little bunch of hair over here is good. I really don't have anything that's jumping out to me that I don't like. I think this area up here is kind of boring. That's the only part of this that I don't love. And I don't know that I have anything that we can do. Oops, this is other steampunk stuff that I did the other day when we did that, which I wasn't really ever loving. Like if we borrow part of this, for example. Just playing here. If I made it big like this. Yep, no, you're right. Oops. That's what it's all about. So if I did, let's work this. I want to make it more circular than it is. And we have a selection of him here. take this layer here, and this needs a blur, a big blur. It's got to, because if his head is this blurry, whatever's behind him has to be blurrier than his head, right? You got to make sure your depth of field is consistent across the whole image. Oh, we don't want that shadow. We don't want that to move with him. So I can adjust it, and then I don't want it that bright. And so if you go with something like this, then his face, you get this weird glow around it, which I don't like. And I don't want it to be too much the same color, because that doesn't have any personality to it. So just looking to see if there's anything here I love. I can render a bunch of different Iron Thrones. Yep, it's true. You have thousands of different overlays and textures. Instead of searching through my PC and viewing them as thumbnails, I can use Behance instead to go grab elements. You could. Again, I just use Bridge. I think I like this one the best. And if we just knock the opacity down a bit, maybe we can get something in the background. But it needs a little bit of a color shift as well. It's not quite the right color. Is it better with it or without it? I think it's definitely better with it. But I want it lower. I want it down here, I believe. Oh, too far. I want it down under these particles, though. Oh, on my blur is a problem. So the blur would only be on the jacket. So there, that'll fix that. So this is the background. So we put this here now. This is inverted. There we go. So it just gives it something back there so it doesn't look all boring. That's better. Compositionally, that's much better. It's still pretty flat. Like his head here is really flat. I don't know that I love that. Let's do one more where we'll just pull his head up in the middle a little bit. Or we go the other way with it. Like we bring it down because he's an evil cat, right? Is he evil? Maybe he's just misunderstood, right? No, he's evil. Let's try that again. So we'll just pull this up here. So like this. So it doesn't look so flat. It's okay. It's still something is not something's not right here. Something's just not right. I don't know if it's not the flatness of it that was bothering me. There's something else there that is bugging me. Maybe it's this. Let's take this blur out, and oh, we have to leave it in there. Where's this blurring exactly? Can we do this? Can we get rid of it that way? Yeah, that helped. All right, it was just there was some sort of a glow in there that was bugging me, and that's all I was seeing, so it was drawing my eye. It's still kind of boring in there, but what about our bug? Well, our bug is actually flat now, so we can't really do anything with that. You're gonna watch some bridge tuts. It's super simple. It's like Explorer. It's just, you know, here's your stuff, and you can click up here and you can get your full path. And then if you drag it into the layer palette, it'll open as a new document. But if you drag it into the body, then it'll open it in the same document. So, yeah, Snuggles. That's interesting. Snuggles. Could be. Could be. Hey, you guys click the like button, by the way. You've been here a while. There's like 60 of you in here, and not that many likes. Oh, let's do one pass here with a dodge and burn. So we'll just throw a gray layer in here, full of love and understanding like this. Dr. Snuggles the Tinkerer. Could be. He's known far and wide for his tinkerness. This is glowing a little bit more through here. This would be more well lit than it is. Darken this a little bit here. This silver here will leave a little bit more lit. It's more interesting. Like it's get some light from behind it there. Make this look a little thicker by lighting the edge of it. And that side looks fine. I don't know that I'm going to bug with that side much. Maybe I'll put a little shadow in there. Yeah, bridge. I mean, I've got way more than 1,000 files. That's for sure. I mean, just in my assets alone. So these are just my textures. These are all the texture directories I have, and each texture directory contains, like flypaper, for example, all these, and then these are all the flypaper backgrounds. So Flypaper is a background company that I've been buying for years. Although I don't buy them much more, but because they don't make them anymore. But everything in here is something I've bought or purchased or made over the years, and I just keep track of it. But yeah, I've got stuff all the way back to 2004 in there. But again, I organize it loosely. So if I go, well, I need leaves, there's just a leaves directory with a bunch of leaves in it. I mean, that's as much work as I've done with it. I know some people go nuts and they spend hours trying to keyword everything. I'm like, why? Why would you do that? It's I get it, but to me, that's just too much time. This is not blurry enough in here. I don't think. Blur this up a little bit more. So just a little crispy here, I think. Oops. Blur, not tool. There we go. I like it. I think it's turned out pretty well. Like I really like it. A little more. Oops, that's a little bit too aggressive. Wrong tool. Let's go back. Ways. There we go. Anyway, when I'm done with this, I'll put it in the bin in the directory for you guys. So don't use it for the obviously the competition entry. It's just for learning, a learning document for you. But appreciate your help. Maybe move the bug. I thought about it, but we've really flattened it. Like this is the document we've got now. We really flattened it. So I could have moved the bug up. We probably still could. I mean, it's not super flat. Like this is all my blurring here. So I'd have to redo all that. But yeah, I think I probably should have moved that bug up earlier with his shadow. See, I don't know. It's like because you got this gap between these like almost like horns in his head. Almost looks like a bow now, doesn't it? that weird? I think that's pretty weird. Yeah. Yeah, I need something, but whatever it is. I don't have it. I do need, though, you're pointing out something good, though, is that this bug has a lot of ancillary stuff that needs to go away. I don't need any of this little stuff here. If we hold down the shift key, you can draw a straight line, so it's really handy to go around stuff real quick. A hat would be good. A hat would be good. Did we have a hat in one of these other ones? That's a hat. I like what we have now better than any of these, though. Something like that, almost. Let's get part of that. Actually, we could use part of this one, which we already have, I believe. Yeah, this one here. Let's borrow just the hat part. This is in the wrong spot. You need to go all the way to the top and then drop it in. Make it somewhat opaque so we can see through it. Make it bigger. Maybe. And then mask it out. Saying, where do we need? We need it just in here. So something between the ears in here. No, this hat's gonna suck. Maybe. Maybe. Let's. I can't warp it with a layer mask on. That sucks. Let's just sketch it in here real quick. May not like this whole thing, but we'll see. I like this part here. So if this was way in the background, we'll say it was, again, I'm just experimenting here. Filter, blur, we'll say it was way back there. Can I make that shape work? I don't think so. That hat's kind of goofy. Let's go see what MidJourney answer us. It's trying. Oops. Yeah, I don't like any of these answers. I think it's better off not perfect than broke. I don't know. I'll look around, but maybe this is good enough. Good enough for what I want. Because I love the rest of it. Like, the rest of it is so good. You know what I kind of want, though? Is this is going to be kind of weird. what if it's kind of crookedy? I mean, what if this dude's got like a personality here? You know, like he's like one side of his mouth is up a little bit and the other one's down a bit. You know, he's like smirking. So it's what we call him before, Dr. Snuggles. Snuggles McSquirt, McSmirk. So he's got kind of a smirk going on here. Is that ridiculous? Do you like the smirk or do you like it symmetrical? You know, I am finding out though that I think this cheek does look a little odd now I'm looking at it. Yeah, I could just draw a hat. You're right. I could. That's pretty good. I like that. It needs more blur. So let's do a blur. What's in here? This needs to blur a bit. Just a bit too sharp. But I think people underestimate the power of that blur. I use that blur all the time. That's pretty weird. I love it. Well, that was fun. All right. Well, that's entertainment value for today. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I mean, I'm really happy with that. That turned out to be fun. And it's what I was hoping for. I was like, can I find a body to put this head on this cat? So you guys offered some great suggestions. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. And thanks for all you guys. I love it that a bunch of the channel supporters were able to show up for this. So this live stream was like a good time of day, apparently. It's like 2 o'clock here. And again, I was just doing it because I was like, I wanted to work on this because it's due Monday by like 9 a.m. And I don't know if I'm going to get it done by then. So this is way better than the train wreck we did a couple days ago. So again, this will be up for about 24 hours or so. And then I'm going to put this in the members only section for everybody who supports the channel with, you know, your Starbucks worth of coffee every month. You really help keep the channel alive, and I'll keep making videos. So everybody, hey, thanks for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. This was really fun. But everybody, hey, take care. I will see you guys. I don't know if I'm going to be around this weekend. If it'll be Sunday night, maybe. Because where we're going, it doesn't have internet. It's way up north Wisconsin, and it's dead to the world. So just ice fishing and drinking beer is basically the only 2 things you can do when you're there. And there's no ice right now, so that would be a career move, right? But everybody, hey, thanks for hanging out.